My name is Holly. I'm sitting alone in my restored historic mansion now, the house quiet and secure, and I can still vividly recall the chaos and betrayal that unfolded months ago. It all came to a head when I watched through my phone's security feed as my mother, Vera, stood in the ruins of the once magnificent Italian marble fireplace, her face flushed with the thrill of destruction. She grinned at the camera, saying she'd rather have the satisfaction than the $5,000 I'd offered to spare the fireplace. Little did she know that her act of spite had just sealed her fate. Let me rewind. I was 3,000 miles away in a Boston hotel room when my phone buzzed with a security alert. My house in Charleston, a historic estate that I'd spent 2 years and nearly $2 million restoring, was supposed to be empty. I opened the app, expecting to see a harmless intruder like a stray animal or a lost delivery person. Instead, I saw Vera standing in my walk-in closet holding up my vintage Gucci handbag. Behind her, my 3 sisters, Lily, Rose, and Daisy, were rummaging through my designer clothes and jewelry. They had set up a live stream, and Vera was cheerfully auctioning off my belongings. "Welcome to the closet clean-out, ladies. Everything must go today, Cash App only," she said in that fake, bright voice. "Don't worry about the owner, Holly. She's just a money tree. She doesn't even know how to use these things properly. She exists to support us." For years, I'd been the silent backer of their lives. Vera was a compulsive shopper who always overspent on luxury items she couldn't afford. I'd paid off her credit card debts countless times. Lily had a series of failed business ventures, and I'd covered her losses. Rose had expensive taste in cars, and I'd paid for her car upgrades, and Daisy had legal troubles that I'd bailed her out of. I'd thought that by being generous, they'd see me as a family member, not just a source of funds. But watching Vera stuffing my silk dresses into a bag for a buyer, I finally realized the truth. It wasn't just greed, it was a form of normalized cruelty. In Vera's mind, my success and property were communal. She dehumanized me to the point where taking my things felt as natural as breathing. The closet was soon emptied, but Vera wasn't done. She walked downstairs to the main parlor and stopped in front of the fireplace. That fireplace was the soul of the house, a 19th century hand-carved Italian marble masterpiece, and a key reason the property was a National Historic Landmark. Vera sneered at the fireplace and said, "This ugly thing takes up so much space. Holly keeps it because she's obsessed with history. We can't even fit a big screen TV here." Lily laughed and said they should get rid of it. Vera's eyes lit up. She found a sledgehammer and declared, "It's my house now. I can do what I want." I knew that if I called the police right then, it would be treated as a family dispute. So I came up with a plan. I texted Vera, "Mom, please don't damage the fireplace. It's very fragile. If you leave it alone, I'll wire you $5,000 tomorrow to buy a new entertainment center. Please." It sounded weak and desperate, just like the Holly they thought I was. On the security feed, I saw Vera's phone light up with my message. She smirked, showed it to Lily and Rose, and they all laughed. Rose scoffed. "She thinks she can buy us off. This is our house." Vera shook her head and said to the camera, "My own daughter thinks she can bribe me. She cares more about this old rock than her family's happiness." That was exactly what I needed her to say. By reading the text aloud, she'd created evidence of her malicious intent. She wasn't destroying the fireplace out of necessity. She was doing it out of sheer spite. Vera picked up the sledgehammer and swung it at the fireplace. The sickening crunch of steel meeting stone filled the air. The intricate carvings on the mantelpiece shattered into dust. She kept swinging, and with each blow, I felt a tether of obligation break. When the fireplace was in ruins, I called my lawyer, Tom. I told him what had happened and that I had video and audio evidence of Vera acknowledging my ownership and the fireplace's value before destroying it. Tom's tone changed from sleepy to serious. He told me to call the federal liaison for the historic district and then the police. I made the calls, remaining calm and factual. I sent the video to the dispatch email. While the police were on their way, I used my smart home app to lock the exterior doors, turn off the HVAC, and blast Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries at full volume. My family was trapped in a suffocating, noisy cage of their own making. When the police and federal agents arrived, Vera tried to play the victim, accusing me of imprisoning and torturing them. But Agent Smith from the Federal Art Crime Team examined the shattered fireplace and declared it a felony under the National Historic Preservation Act. Vera's confidence crumbled as the word federal sank in. The agents also found my sisters with designer goods they were about to steal, and they were arrested for grand larceny. I spoke through the speakers, cold and steady. You've broken the law, not a rule. I'm no longer just your daughter. I'm the witness. Weeks later, Vera tried to spin herself as a victim, but I released the raw security footage. Public opinion turned against her. Her lies fell apart. Her lawsuits were dismissed, and she had to pay restitution. She was put on probation, and finally, there was silence. Now, as I sit here by the restored fireplace, I know that the most important thing I've gained is the boundary I've set. I've built a fortress, and for the first time in my life, I'm in control.